So the official schedules have just been released as well. The Eagles made some recent roster moves, things of that nature. Let's fly on into it. Okay, so as we know, firstly I'm gonna start off with the official schedule release and things of that nature. Starting off, as everybody knows, September 6th, we face the Green Bay Packers, things of that nature. I'll put it up there so you guys can get a better look at that, things of that nature. I think it's a pretty good matchup. I mean, we bolstered the offense. We added significant help to the defense and things of that nature. So I'm pretty confident in terms of that matchup. So I think, I like our chances and things of that nature. I know it's just one game or however, but the second game, week 2, September 16th, at home or however, 8:15 p.m., things of that nature, versus the Falcons. Kirk Cousins, Michael Penix Jr., I believe that's who they picked up with the number 10, as well as a couple receivers in the offseason, things of that nature. So I like our chances in that one. Week 3, September 22nd at 1 o'clock p.m. Versus the New Orleans Saints. Obviously, they lost Zach Bond. Obviously, I'm not overrating the guy or however, but I mean, he looked pretty good in his highlights or however, and I know highlights aren't everything, so I'm not taking that, too far, nothing like that. But I didn't see them pick any early draft picks, so I kind of like our roster over theirs or however. And then versus the Bucks, September 29th, week 4. I kind of have mixed feelings about it, obviously, because I know they knocked us off the playoffs last year. However, so much respect to them. They beat us fair and square. Baker Mayfield, he beat us. He didn't cheat or however the case may be. All the power to him. He beat us fair and square. And the other part of that is that, like I said, I mean, I believe Saquon behind this O-line, is a difference maker, as well as C.J. Gardner-Johnson and Fangio on the defensive side, as well as Kellen Moore back on the offensive side and things like that. So I kind of, I'll give them the respect. They did beat us last year, however, but at the very same time, we did add Saquon. We did get C.J. Gardner-Johnson back, things of that nature. So that's very exciting. So next up is our bye week, week 5. I really don't like that, to be honest. I think it's way too soon because that's only obviously only 4 games in, things of that nature. And I think, we'll I think I'd prefer, like week 10, week 11, something like that, allow a little bit more time to pass. But, and we'll see in terms of how much it truly impacts, the wins, losses, etc., the freshness of the team, etc. So, like I said, bye week then, I think it's, entirely too soon, but what can you say? You can only have so many good things happen in an off season or however. So, I mean, even then, week 6, I believe it's the Cleveland Browns, October 13th at 1 p.m. I'm pretty sure they had a pretty good defense last year, so that's kind of something to be wary of. But again, Saquon, Goddard, all the offensive threats, people to worry about. It's gonna be super hard to game plan for them. But on the bright side, though, I mean, their offense compared to our offense, their offense really ain't got nothing compared to what we got. At least top 10 quarterback, 2 top 10 wide receivers, top 5, top 10 running back, things of that nature. Depending on how you feel about Saquon, things of that nature. So, I kind of think that helps us out. Next up is in New York for the Giants. That'll be Saquon's first game back in New York as an Eagle. So I really think he's going to help us go off. And again, I mean, their roster compared to, I know not everything is roster for roster, but I mean, to a small extent, I mean, if you got A.J. Brown covering the worst possible corner in the league, I mean, it makes a difference or however. And I'm not saying they have the worst corners in the league or however, but I'm just saying, they're not a good team. They're not. I'd be surprised if they even get 10 wins this year. Yeah, I like our chances and whatnot. I think Saquon's going to dominate A.J. Brown. Devontae Smith's going to dominate. Jalen Hurts is going to throw him off a little bit to keep the pressure off them. I think overall that our chances and our, things looking pretty good so far in terms of schedules and things of that nature. So next up is, I believe it's the Cincinnati Bengals. I just call it by the last name, like Dallas Cowboys, 49ers, San Francisco 49ers, etc. Cincinnati Bengals, Burrow, he's pretty damn good when healthy. But obviously, that's kind of been an issue, and his O line has also been an issue. Um, I mean, I know, he has some pretty decent receivers. I'm not going to say top, so and so top five, top three. I don't think so. But I mean, he does have some pretty solid receivers, things of that nature. So, I mean, 50-50, you never know. He is a good quarterback. All credit to him. But I think just because we have more weapons, a better O line, obviously, I think that we can take it or however, but again, all credit to him. He always still has a good chance to win or however. Next up, November 3rd, the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm gonna try to go to this one or another one that I'll mention later on. But yeah, I'm gonna try to go to a couple of these games or at least one of them or something like that. And I'll try to vlog it and all that, and so be on the lookout for that. As well as so in terms of the Jaguars. Obviously, I'm pretty sure Doug Peterson's still the coach, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, in terms of offseason, I think they added like a receiver and then an O line or something like that. But yeah, overall, I honestly think that might be one of like the garbage teams that might get us, or however the case may be. Just as like you never know, still figuring something out. I think they might give us some looks, that the new offense, the new defense hasn't seen before. I don't know, 50-50. Just being humble, you never know what could happen. And Doug Peterson, he is a hell of a coach. So next up is Dallas Cowboys. Hot take of the day, I think we'll sweep the Cowboys. The Cowboys are literally a poverty franchise. I know this is a video mainly about discussing the schedule, reacting to schedule, things of that nature. But the only thing I'll say about the Cowboys, they're officially a poverty franchise, and I believe we'll sweep them. Obviously, like I said in my previous videos, Dak is not in any way a great quarterback. He's a regular season quarterback, things of that nature. So I'm not really too worried about it. On next to the Washington Commanders. I believe they're the ones that got Jaden McDaniels. No, it was the Bears that got Rome Odunze, but I know for sure that they also got like a beast wide receiver and things of that nature in terms of the Washington Commanders or however. So definitely team to look out for. In terms of NFL level, you never know or however. I mean, nobody. I only use different NFL quarterbacks or however, as examples or however, because I mean, most quarterbacks we've gotten was through free agency or upper draft picks. Carson Wentz, I believe he was like the second pick, I think. But yeah. Tom Brady, I mean, he was 199th pick, and obviously, he delivered, at a early age or however. So in terms of Jaden McDaniels, you never know what he could deliver at an NFL level. I'm not saying he's gonna be him or however, but I'm just saying, it's becoming a more and more trend or however that players, are becoming special and things of that nature. Even despite different circumstances, like he's not the number one ranked quarterback or however that's a circumstance or however, and his weaknesses or however, according to Sports Report, sports reports, things of that nature, Bleacher Report, ESPN, things of that nature, is his scouting report as well. Obviously, you can look at his weaknesses, things of that nature. So yeah, you never know what he could deliver. So I'll give them a fair chance as well. And for some odd freaking reason, people in our division, or however, not people, but teams in our division, we've struggled with and things of that nature. So I'll give them the credit. Compared to a Sam Howell or however, I mean, the second or third pick, something like that. I mean, yeah, I'll give them the respect. So that's another game, 50-50. Can't win them all. So, yeah, I'll say it's 50-50 on that. Next up is Week 12 versus the LA Chargers or the LA Rams or however. I mean, they changed it. It's confusing me or however. I watch all football or however, but I mean, I don't really pay attention to the names. I just know like, oh, this guy plays for this city or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? I don't know like all the scientifics or however, but I just love football, love sports, and things of that nature. So, again, they have a pretty good team, things of that nature. They didn't play horribly last year. They made it pretty difficult for us, or however. Even though obviously a lot of it was Brian Johnson in the scheme, or however, and the turnover bug on Jalen's part, or however. I completely recognize that, or however. But even then, they played some solid football. It's not like they were the Arizona Cardinals. They weren't that bad. I'm not saying they're Super Bowl contenders last year or whatever. What I'm saying? Because obviously every year's a new year. But I'm just saying they were a respectable team. Like, heck yeah, you never know what could happen. Keep your guard up. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, next up is the Baltimore Ravens. Obviously, they were the second best team in the AFC last year. Almost went to the Super Bowl, obviously, but then they lost to the Chiefs. They picked up Derrick Henry, fortified, both sides of the ball, things of that nature. Got better, things of that nature, and now they have somebody that can actually throw the ball in crunch time in the playoffs, since obviously Lamar Jackson can't. But yeah, absolutely, a team to look out for. So far, I mean, out of 13 weeks that we've just discussed and I've kind of like reacted to, I mean, there's really only like two. Yeah, I'll stick with two: Washington and Baltimore. Those are really the only teams so far we really actually got to worry about. Because Saquon, that's the difference maker. If he can carry the, them to multiple wins, or however he can, help us get better, so we can get, a couple more wins than last year. However, because 11-6 with the collapse, lost like the last 5 out of the 6, or however, of the last couple games. So, with Saquon, CJ, Fangio, all the rookies, DeJean, Trotter, like I said, Quinion Mitchell, things of that nature. I mean, at least a couple more. I mean, it's not bad, but yeah, next up, December 8th versus the Panthers. To say the least, I may even go to this one because, to be honest, or however, since last year was so freaking stressful and aggravating, or however, like when I go this year, however, like I just want it to be just, I know no game's officially going to be easier, however. But from my perspective, or however, going in, it would be a lot more enjoyable to watch us play, let's say, the Cardinals, or however, this year with all the upgrades, or however, than the Chiefs. They won the Super Bowl last year. They're champions. I'd rather play somebody, or however, that only got like 5 wins maybe than somebody who ended up winning the Super Bowl. In theory, hypothetically, is what I'm saying. It'll be easier to watch. It'll be less stressful, more enjoyable. Things of that nature, so... but yeah, in terms of the Panthers, I mean, I think that's going to be one of our easy games, things of that nature. But again, I mean, it could be that one or the Jaguars, or however, that, could be, one of the games where a garbage team beats us, or however the case. You never know. It's the NFL. Crazy things can happen, things of that nature. So, yeah. But overall, at face value, I think, we should have it in the bag. And I think that it should be a decently dominant win on our part, especially since it's a home game and things of that nature. So, next up is the Pittsburgh Steelers on December 15th, 4:25 p.m. It is in fact a home game as well, as you guys can see. The blue ones are the home games. I'll like put that ahead of time with text, or however. The blue ones are obviously home games, or however, or the green ones. I'm sorry, the green ones. Like the midnight green ones, or however, are the home games, and then the black ones are the away games. So yeah, like I said, the Pittsburgh Steelers, obviously we got Kenny Pickett as like a backup, or however. Obviously that's the team he came for us. The only reason I mentioned, I'm not saying he's going to make an impact, or however, because I believe Jalen's going to still be healthy by that point. But yeah, they picked up Justin Fields, I believe, and Russell Wilson. I believe Russell Wilson's washed. I mean, he had a decent team. I'm not going to say great, or however, but I mean, he at least had an average team, or however, and, we, seen it didn't really go too well, or however. But yeah, in terms of the Steelers, yeah, I mean, Justin Fields, he might play kick returner or something like that, or running back or something. But yeah, overall, I mean, I like how this looks for the Eagles and things of that nature. So, yeah, so far, pretty excited. Yeah, on to the next week. The 22nd versus the oh yeah, my bad. I'm so freaking ahead of myself. Forever, I'm just overthinking about how, you know what I'm saying. But yeah, I honestly think we'll get it, because like I said, I mean, I'm not a big believer in Justin Fields, or however, like just because they're not an Eagles quarterback, I can still respect him, or however. I think Kirk Cousins is pretty badass. He loses in the playoffs, or however, so doesn't hurt us anything, or however, he hasn't significantly beat us, or however. So yes, again, I think that's not. I'm not gonna say an easy win, or however, because I mean, Russ Wilson is a Super Bowl champion, things of that nature. So it might be a little difficult, but I think it's nothing to worry about. Next up is December 22nd at 1 p.m. versus the Washington Commanders. Again, I'll give this a 50-50, things of that nature, because I understand, Jaden McDaniels, things of that nature. He is a beast. And again, as of right now, I mean, I only said that like a few minutes ago. Haven't seen him play an NFL game. You never know, what a rookie could bring, or however, because I think it was like Tom Brady's first or second year as a starter, he won a Super Bowl, or however. I know that's extremely rare, however, but I mean, heck, even Patrick Mahomes, or however, He won within his first couple years, or however, at least the AFC Championship, or however, and then lost in the Super Bowl or something, and then so something like that in his first couple years, or however. But I do understand Jalen's case, different coordinators every year, and as soon as they get success, or they leave, and glory hog and all that. But yeah, next up is the Cowboys again, December 29th, 4:25 p.m. Yeah, sorry guys. Yeah, I'm literally looking at it on my phone or however, so that like I can like accurately like react to it or however, because I'm still figuring out or however, because like how to make it smoother and all that. But anyways, no Diddy. December 29th versus the Cowboys. Whatchamacallit, I mean, again, I think we're going to sweep them. Officially a poverty franchise. They signed Ezekiel Elliott to be a center, oddly enough, because obviously he can't run anymore. He's washed. So, yeah. And in week 18 or however, to be determined, obviously. It says the Jets or however. I would assume, the first pending playoff or however, depending on seeds or however, that's just, what it says according to the article or however, as, that's posted right there or however. But, yeah, that's what it says. So, honestly, compared to last year, I love all, you know what I'm saying? And this is not directed towards any content creator, however, because I was just watching live stream, or however. I love Philly 500, not directed towards you, Philly. I love you. No Diddy, nothing like that, or however. Same thing to Tone to Shields, much love, no Diddy. Same thing to Joey Shakes, much love, no Diddy, things of that nature. Like I was like just reading the comments, and everyone's saying, oh, the schedule's hard, yada, 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 week 5, or however. Oh, the schedule's impossible. Last year was a freaking gauntlet. You know what I'm saying? Like we faced the Chiefs, we faced the 49ers, obviously the Cowboys, and then there was like another one just in like the span of a month. There was like 4 like pretty ridiculous teams or however in the month. Like, and we faced the Cowboys. They just got done blowing out the Chargers or whoever it was, and then the Chiefs or however, yeah, they were having a little rough stretch or however. But at that point, they were still, even still at this point, they're Super Bowl champions. So yeah, sure, rough patch, smuff patch. Don't want to hear it. That they're Super Bowl champions. I diss them too, or however, like, oh, but they're not going to win again. But they did. They're Super Bowl champions as of right now. As no matter what we can do, they're Super Bowl champions as we stand. I hate to say it. I'm an Eagles fan. I wish Jalen had a ring. I wish Jalen had it right here. This is the ring finger. No rudeness. I wish he had one right here. I mean, and I wish he had a second one from this year. I wish he had 2, but can't win it every year. Shit happens, things of that nature. But yeah, I was reading all that, or how I was just like, man, how easy do y'all want it? Like, okay, because look, the 2 people in a Super Bowl, we don't face. We faced the Ravens once. Yeah, sure, I understand, or however, they're not they're in the AFC, not the NFC. You're right. That's still a difficult team, or however, very, very difficult team. Just like Derrick Henry, things of that nature. They obviously have Lamar Jackson, Zay Flowers. I know Odell Beckham Jr. went to Miami. But yeah, I mean, they're still a pretty good team, or however, we faced them once, but still. But as of right now, however, we don't face the two teams in the Super Bowl, which is, I mean, that's 2 games. Every game is important. When you're only playing 20 games, basically, I know it's only 17. So please don't just cut that out like, oh, he thinks there's 20 games. But like theoretically, 20 games max or however, including a playoff game or 2, because you're not going to make Super Bowl every single year. There's 32 teams. You're not going to make the Super Bowl every single year, no matter how great you are. Even Tom Brady. But the point is if you're basically playing 20 games or however, and you manage to do that or however, I mean, I think that's pretty freaking good in my book. But yeah, essentially, I mean, that's just my opinion or however, is that if you don't have to play the 2 top teams or however, obviously the Chiefs and the 49ers, and then whatchamacallit, you only play the Ravens once, and then I didn't see Detroit on the schedule, and they made it pretty freaking far. Yeah, so yeah, I didn't see Detroit. They made it pretty good. I only see the Bucks once, and they're the team that beat us. Like, okay, again, final reaction: Green Bay, win on our part or however. So 1-0. Week 2, 2-0. Week 3, 3-0. Week 4, 4-0. I mean, And it's not like those are the the champion, the AFC NFC champions from last year. However, so I believe before the bye week, before 4-0, have a pretty good start. Bye week, okay, guys, we had a pretty good start. Yada yada yada. I think it's way too soon, like I said, but I mean I don't think it'll make too much of a difference because I think we'll be 4-0 and things of that nature. And then obviously week 6 versus the Browns. I'll give it 50-50, but obviously I love my Eagles, so I think we can win that. So I'll say 5-0. Then versus the Giants, I mean they really don't have anything, so I mean that's 6-0. And then versus Burrow, I mean I'll say 6-1. Yeah, I'll say wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. So 6-1 or however. I'll say Burrow. He's great or have not win every single game. And then I believe or however come back to Philly or however for the Jacksonville game. I believe Jalen will come back or however and dominate things of that nature versus the Jaguars. So that's a win. That's 7-1 versus the Cowboys, 8-1 versus the Commanders, 9-1 since he's still a rookie or however Jalen has more experience, things of that nature. And then week 12, 10-1. Yeah, and then the Baltimore, I mean, I'll say that's our second loss or however, because I'll be humble. They did make it farther than us last year, and they did get Derrick Henry. They did get a beast running back too. So, I mean, and then versus Carolina, the Steelers, the Cowboys again, and then Washington or however. I mean, I think we can win those. Because, I mean, compared to what we had last year, we still started 10-1, and we played a heck of a lot harder last year since obviously we made it to the Super Bowl. So, again, I think, 1 or 2 more games or however compared to what we had last year is very doable and things of that nature. So, more than doable. Overall, I think it's a cake schedule. Like I said, I mean, how cake, Eagles fans, how cake do you want it? You know what I'm saying? No AFC champ, no Super Bowl champs. We don't have to face them. We don't have to face the NFC champs. That's already 2. And like I said, if you only basically playing 17 games to be exact, if you're playing 17 games to be exact, and you have to have the top seed in order to have the the home field advantage or however the case may be, the best possible playoff position or however, that's what people try to win every single game. That's why they try. It's because the 1 seed is the best seed to have. No diddy, nothing like that or however. But yeah, the first seed is the best. And the way to get first seed or however is by playing good and having good matchups and things of that nature. And being humble. We do have some pretty good matchups. Again, no NFC champs, no Super Bowl champs. Things of that nature. We don't have to face the Lions. I'm pretty sure they made it to the AFC or the NFC or something or however. I don't really watch Lions. I'm not even gonna lie. I love Eminem or however, but yeah, nothing like that. Because some people say, "Oh, I don't like the Lions because of Eminem." Me personally, I'm just saying it's not because of Eminem. I have no problem with Eminem. He slayed MGK, and when he comes out of retirement for time, it's badass. Not to love to him. But yeah, I watch or however, but I mean, I don't obsessively know or however, I know the Eagles or however, our conference or however, everyone else I just watch respectively or however. But the Eagles is actually who I nerd out for and try to learn all the microscopic stats, things of that nature, and learn everything I can. So next up is the roster moves, things of that nature. Sorry for it being a little bit of a longer video. But yeah, there's a lot to unpack there. 18 weeks, a lot to talk about. 17 weeks at least. But yeah, like I said, the first roster moves that we signed, Sean Stevens, he led the NCAA with 16 picks, 8 each in the last 2 seasons. He runs a 4.38 40. Like I said, he's pretty freaking fast. He can cover. I believe it was a 3-year deal, but I can't seem to find the little thing anymore. However, because I seen it, which actually kind of raises questions. Him, Jalix, and a couple others have already got the rookie contracts, and I haven't seen anything about Cooper DeJean or Quinion Mitchell getting there. So I'm just man, the 2 highest picks, I mean, dang, it's kind of, not a red flag yet or however, since, I mean, obviously no games have been played, things of that nature, rookie camp hasn't started, but I'm just saying, some people are already getting their, the later picks. So I'm just dang, doesn't have a very good look to it. So next thing up is that Will Shipley gets his contract, and Nia Smith gets his contract. Like I said, the others, some of them were signed last week, but in terms of this week, Will Shipley got his, and Nia Smith got his, and they released Noah Togiai Togi. I don't know how to pronounce it. Togi. Yeah, he was released. He didn't really do much for us, or however, he spent a couple years in, I believe it was Miami or Cleveland, one of the two. Or it could be completely wrong, but I know he spent like a couple years somewhere and he only had like, 23 catches, like 2 touchdowns or something. Like 200 or 300 yards or however, something like that, or however, something like that in the course of those 2 years or however. So, Jalix Hunt, like I said, he signs his contract. Jason Kelsey, he officially signs his ESPN contract. So I would assume, unless he has some sort of crazy, like, be able to play while I have this clause or whatever, which I seriously doubt, the door is officially closed and Jason Kelsey coming back. It's bad news. It's sad, but according to him, if he does in fact have CTE, things of that nature, I don't think that'll bode very well for the Eagles. But again, I have high respect for Howie's roster management, things of that nature. As I'm watching football year by year by year, because I got like a solid, 15 years under my belt, so with those 15 years, I've been learning more and more and more, and maturing more and more and more. You get more patient, like, okay, figuring this out, each year I learn something, whether it be about the salary or something or however, so I kind of like, I'm able to formulate that in with my general takes and whatnot and how I feel and things of that nature, so, yeah, but overall, I just try to be fair and things of that nature, so, overall, hope you guys enjoyed the video today. I think that's going to do it for today's video. Again, we talked about the entire schedule, things of that nature. I am going to try to go to one of the games and make like a little vlog or however. Super excited for that, so definitely tune in for that as well. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for the feedback on the recent video. Appreciate it. Share to your friends. Join the Philly Flyover family. Thank you so much for watching. Philly out. Peace.